alcohol, I found that it took away my inhibitions. It started out slow, a shot before going on stage. As the years progressed, I started drinking more and more to the point where I was binge drinking.
Color Me Bad. The name alone takes you back to the 90s. These guys had R&B on lock with their smooth vocals, catchy jams, and that unforgettable swag. Tracks like I Wanna Sex You Up and I Adore Me More were total anthems. But behind the scenes, there was a lot more to their story. Here's how they hit it big, went through some major ups and downs, and still kept their name alive in the game.
We were always trying to be the center of attention. We were hungry. We wanted to be stars. During our senior year in high school, Kool and the Gang came to town. We went to the party. Kool and the Gang heard us sing. Next thing you know, we start recording this song, I Wanna Sex You Up.
Color Me Bad kicked off in the late 80s with Brian Abrams, Mark Calderon, Sam Waters, and Kevin K.T. Thornton leading the way. Each member brought their own flavor to the mix, creating a sound that was totally unique. At first, they were called Take One, but after realizing there was already a group with that name, they switched it up to Color Me Bad, inspired by some random horse mention in a newspaper. Yep, that's the story behind it. It wasn't just their name that got them noticed. In 1987, they bumped into Robert Bell from Kool and the Gang, and that connection helped them level up in the music industry. But, like most success stories, theirs came with a fair amount of drama.
People know me as the lead singer of Color Me Bad. What most people don't know about me is that I'm an alcoholic.
The group's success wasn't all shine and sparkle. There were some serious struggles behind the scenes. Kevin Thornton, one of the members, faced some tough personal demons, including battling S-addiction and struggling with thoughts. It got to be too much, and he eventually left the group to find a new path. He ended up finding peace and purpose as a minister, helping others and focusing on his own spiritual growth. Brian, the lead singer, was caught up in his own storm. His drinking got out of hand in the late 90s, bringing a string of arrests and serious legal problems. It only added fuel to the fire, making the group's drama even messier and hurting their reputation. With all these personal battles, they just couldn't keep it together. Even with the hits and their undeniable talent, the stress of fame and internal chaos began to tear them apart. And yep, it gets crazier.
Alcohol, I found that it took away my inhibitions. It started out slow, a shot before going on stage. As the years progressed, I started drinking more and more to the point where I was binge drinking.
Brian had a serious run-in with the law that messed up both his personal life and the group's reputation. He got arrested multiple times for things like domestic violence and substance abuse, and it definitely didn't do them any favors in the public eye. Brian's alcohol and drug issues started in the late 90s, and honestly, they never let up. His career and personal life were a mess, and the arrests, especially for domestic violence, made everything worse. It strained his bond with the group and kind of overshadowed their music. Despite all the chaos, Brian and the guys still tried to push forward with their music, but those legal issues and personal struggles just made it harder to keep things on track and stay relevant. The drama really peaked during a show at a New York casino when things completely blew up between Brian and Mark. In the middle of their performance, Brian just shoved Mark, sending him tumbling to the floor. Total chaos.
It's been a few days now since Color Me Bad's concert in Seneca County ended on a disturbing note, and a strange one too for fans at Del Lago Casino.
Singer Mark Calderon was allegedly pushed to the ground by his longtime bandmate.
The crowd was totally stunned, and it didn't take long for the whole thing to hit the headlines. Brian wasn't spared. He got arrested and slapped with assault charges. This wild moment really pulled back the curtain on all the tension and personal drama that had been building up for ages. Oh, and it didn't stop there.
We get up on stage and we get through the first song. I noticed he was stumbling through his lyrics. He was out of key. He sounded terrible. I was thinking to myself, what was going to happen?
Brian also took legal action against Mark over the group's name. He slapped him with a lawsuit, saying Mark was using Color Me Bad without his permission. Cue the drama. A full-on trademark war kicked off. The whole mess was about who actually owned the rights to the band's name and whether they could keep performing or promoting themselves under it. Like the band wasn't already dealing with enough drama, this just turned up the heat even more. Eventually, Brian and Mark worked it out, with Brian selling the trademark, letting Mark and the rest of the crew move on. But man, it really showed how messy things can get when business and branding get involved in the music world.
I have shown up for shows drunk, walked off the stage, pushed Mark right in front of the crowd. I do things that I don't remember because as soon as I start drinking, I go straight to blackout.
Even though they were crushing it on the charts, their cash flow was a mess, and it totally tore them apart. Fame and fortune came with a lot of pressure, and it didn't take long for financial stress to hit hard. With all that sudden wealth, managing money became a struggle. They were living large, trying to keep up with the look of success, but it just made things worse. Fights about money and the stress of pretending to be rich while barely scraping by started major drama within the group. Add in the legal issues and personal problems, and it was clear they were done. In the end, all that success couldn't save them from the mess behind the scenes, and the group called it quits. Reunion attempts? Yeah, not exactly smooth sailing. They tried to get back together, but the same drama that broke them up in the first place was still lurking around. Kevin Thornton, who dipped out to become a minister, popped back in for a while during one of their reunion tries. But the group was still carrying heavy baggage, mainly Brian Abrams' ongoing battles with alcohol. His issues had already caused massive tension, and they weren't going away anytime soon. With personal problems, legal messes, and the pressure to recreate their past fame, the group just couldn't keep it together. Even with all their talent and the desire to make a comeback, those old struggles were too much. So, yeah, they had a crazy ride in the spotlight. Let's dive into that journey. Color Me Bad's rise to fame was a mix of pure luck and serious grind. One of their biggest no-way moments came when they randomly performed for Jon Bon Jovi at a movie theater. He was so impressed that the next night they were opening for his band. Talk about a major glow-up. And then there was that chance run-in at the ASCAP Music Awards with powerhouse producers Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis. After a casual chat, the duo dropped some major gems, and one of those tips ended up shaping their hit song, I Adore Mi Amor. The blend of English and Spanish in the track gave it a unique twist, and fans ate it up, sending it straight to the top. The big break came in August 1990 when they signed with Giant Records. Cassandra Mills, a sharp exec at the label, caught wind of their demo and saw serious potential. That led to them recording I Wanna S You Up for the new Jack City soundtrack. The song dropped as a single in March 1991, and it was a total game changer. With its smooth hook and undeniable catchiness, it shot up to number 2 on the Billboard Hot 100. That track became their biggest hit and cemented their place in the R&B world. Was the moment that sent the group into overdrive. Okay, so we've heard a lot about Brian and his demons. Let's talk about the less toxic members of the group. First, there's Mark. Mark Calderon, born in Hawaii, grew up surrounded by music, which clearly set the stage for his future in the industry. Fun fact, he was tight with the group's co-founder Sam Waters way back in grade school, so the roots of his music career run deep. In 1992, Mark married Lisa Smedley Calderon, who used to style for Color Me Bad. They've kept their relationship super private, so not much else is out there about their personal life or family. Post Color Me Bad, Mark didn't skip a beat in the music world. He teamed up with Stevie Brock for a Disney-approved remake of All For Love and even worked with Insane Clown Posse on their bonus album, Mike E. Clark's Extra Pop Emporium. These days, Mark is still making music with Color Me Bad, which reunited in 2010. It's mostly been him and Brian Abrams holding it down for the group through the highs and lows and all the drama. There's also Sam. After the group called it quits, Sam didn't just fade away. He flipped the script and dove headfirst into songwriting and production. Teaming up with Louis Biancaniello, the duo became hitmakers, cranking out tracks for big names like Jessica Simpson, Kelly Clarkson, Whitney Houston, and Leona Lewis. Ever heard I Wanna Love You Forever or I'm Out of Love? Yeah, those were his magic. Sam kept the momentum going by teaming up with industry big shots in the Runaways, a star-studded crew featuring names like Rico Love and Ryan Tedder. Together, they helped craft some serious chartbusters, proving Sam's knack for staying on top of the game. On the personal side, Sam married American Idol alum Tamira Gray in a dreamy ceremony in Capri, Italy. The two have built a beautiful life together with their kids, Sienna Marie and Kieran. These days, Sam's still deep in the music biz, working on projects, managing artists, and even holding down roles like VP at Island Records. Oh, and did we mention he's been behind the scenes with stars like Shawn Mendes and Lucky Day? Clearly, Sam's been busy keeping the hits coming. Lastly, we have Kevin. After parting ways with the group, Kevin Thornton struck out on his own and dropped his solo album One Truth in 1996. It featured his R&B hit, How Can I Get Close to You, which climbed all the way to #1 on the charts, definitely a high point in his music journey. But life threw Kevin a curveball in 1999 when he was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis, a condition that affects the central nervous system. Still, he's kept his passion for singing alive and hits the stage whenever he can. By the late 90s, Kevin's story took a major turn. He became a born-again Christian and stepped into ministry work, finding a new purpose in sharing his faith. Now he's a licensed minister, counseling, leading worship, and running New Life Emmanuel Church alongside his wife, Lady Viola Thornton. Kevin's been super open about his ups and downs, fame, struggles with substance abuse, and finding his way back to a healthier path through his faith. He's also worked hard to rebuild relationships with his kids, Dominique, Brianna, and one from another relationship, and with his wife Tammy. And that's the roller coaster that was Color Me Bad, from dropping chart-topping hits to dealing with real-life struggles. If you're into stories like this, don't forget to smash that like button, hit subscribe, and turn on the notifications so you're always in the loop. Got something to say about Color Me Bad? Or maybe there's another artist you're dying for us to cover? Drop it in the comments. We're all ears. Thanks for kicking it with us, and we'll see you in the next one.